You can download my latest song, Shamanic Soul Chanting, and other mantra tracks from my website, JasonGallant.ca. So I recently had a gentleman ask on the comments section underneath one of my videos, he goes, I can really resonate with a lot of the stuff you're saying, Jason. And that's what he said. A lot of the stuff that's going on, I understand what's going on there. I understand where you're coming from and what you're talking about. But what I don't understand, he goes, I'm kind of confused, is that you are doing a lot of things, you know, where the more spiritual he gets, he's saying that he doesn't feel like doing anything at all. Feels like just being a sloth, just basically just sitting around. And it's a common misconception that people think that once you go deep and you go deep into samadhi and meditation, that is the end goal, and that the meditation will never actually move outwards. But the truth is, there is a cycle that happens inside you. There's a cycle of death, and then there's a cycle of birth and life, then death and life and birth. And this happens with creativity as well. It will happen in your relationships, where your relationships will go through a death and then a rebirth and a reintegration and a re-maintenance. There's this whole cycle that happens inside us, and it also happens in the world around us. We see it all the time. Such as right now, you can see the leaves are bright green, but there is a little bit of fall coming, the death is coming, the Shiva time. So this cycle, understanding who you are amidst this cycle, is what the enlightenment process is about. It's what the spiritual process is about. And the deeper we go into the center of this, the more joy is with us unconditionally, okay? So, yeah, this gentleman was seeing that I do workout videos, and I have a workout video section where I talk about, my old life, that what I used to compete natural bodybuilding. That was how I really disciplined myself physically, but understood that, hey, that physical stuff is not the end all be all. It was really a very small piece of a much larger picture, So at some point, lifting weights and working out was no longer fulfilling to me. It was just survival. And I said, geez, what's the secret to life? There must be more to life than this, than trying to get bigger muscles. Like, what's the point, right? Like, I totally lost motivation around that, okay? So when I started on this spiritual journey and I started doing all these spiritual practices and things and started to embrace a whole inner reality, and more joy started to move through, now I realized, hey, there's a whole bunch of different ways to play now in my life. And making videos and art and music, is all part of it. So creativity and the creator inside you is going to have some resonance, right? So if you think that being spiritual means doing nothing, you have misunderstood the spirituality paradigm, especially from the enlightenment point of view. Creativity has always been in alignment with the creator, okay? So this doesn't mean that you must create in order to become more enlightened or more awake. It's not that. It's about understanding that anything that can be happening in you in that moment is the right thing. Perhaps going deep, perhaps not doing anything, perhaps that is the right thing, because at that point you are actually unraveling all of the pain and all the false motives inside you. You're allowing all those to die. And when they die, then there will be a reemergence of play and joy and love and movement and action. But this action will be more pure than before. And then one day, after you've created a bunch of things, you've done a lot of stuff, maybe you've written a few books, or maybe you've created a film, or maybe you're just, building houses, whatever it is you're doing, then one day you might feel like, oh, I need to go deep again, I need to die again, I need to go deep within myself. So then again, that death happens. And you clear up the motive again. You make the motive behind all of your action even cleaner and cleaner. And then bang, it comes out again. So it's this in and out breath, you see? It's the Shiva, the Lakshmi principle, and the Brahma principle all in one. First the Brahma principle, the creation, then the Lakshmi, the maintenance, then the Shiva, the death. And as you go through this cycle many, many times in your life, each time the motive becomes more and more pure behind everything you do. And what I mean by more pure is it's more full of joy. There's less pain driving your action. We all know of the artist that is just absolutely, totally suicidal or in absolute agony as they're creating. They're just, oh my God, it's all drama. But then we know the other artist that just blissfully creates, and it's just a movement of their happiness, So you move from one paradigm to the other. You clean up all the motive of pain, so that purity of happiness and love moves. So the more pure that gets, the more energy you actually have, because then you start to realize all of the energy that you've wasted in the drama of pain and the compensation for it. You see, it takes so much energy from your entire system when you are in pain and you're trying to do from that place. You know, I'm afraid, so I have to design a bunch of locks for my door. I have to design 10 locks, now 20 locks. Now I need to design a bigger lock. This is all coming from a place of pain, and it takes a tremendous amount of energy for you to maintain that way of life. Which is why at some point I do feel that that will move to depression, because you'll start to realize, I don't have enough energy to fulfill this anymore. I'm just going to give up altogether. So yeah, as you become more spiritual, as you become more enlightened, whatever that means, okay? So I hate using those words sometimes because there's so much misunderstanding around them. I guess the best way to say it is, as you become more yourself, your natural free self, then many actions can arise. And they may look a lot like the same actions as before you started on the spiritual path, but the difference is now you are actually enjoying the action. Now you're free from all of the stipulations and the expectations and the results of those actions. You're not saying, okay, this must happen, otherwise I will be very unhappy, right? So yeah, so take that under consideration as you go about this journey. You'll start to see yourself one day doing something you've always done, or maybe something that you used to do, and all of a sudden there's much less pain there. There's more joy. It just is kind of a happy sort of dance, right? That's another way of saying it. As you go about your journey of being more yourself, there'll be more freedom for you to dance through life. And dancing doesn't have a goal. It's not like everybody dances as fast as they can to get to the end of the song, right? They dance because they're enjoying the song and they're in the moment. That's why dancing can be a very spiritual process. You're forced to be in the movement, right? You're forced to be in the moment with the beat. Doom, 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 right? There's not this, okay, I already hit all the beats already, and then the song's still going on, but you just, moved and hit all the beats faster than the beats came. So I hope this helps you on your journey understand the craziness that may emerge inside you of creativity and fun and movement. Thanks for watching. Take care for now.